Working in like Water for Chocolate has been an amazing journey. There's so many details, so many layers to the character.
Well, it's such a complex, fascinating character, and also you span over decades.
Yes.
So when we first see you, you're a boy, and by the end, you're no longer a boy. What do you do physically to make that change? I mean, in both instances, you're still dancing steps.
Yes.
But how do you make him a boy and make him a man?
What I try to do is to put it in the way I walk and the way I react in the dancing. At the beginning, I try to be on my toes, like very,
light and fleet
very
and everything.
fast.
Yeah.
And then become like your walk is much slower and deeper.
More to the ground.
More to the ground,
yeah.
and your dancing is more layers to the dancing.
Yeah.
It's not anymore about the movement, but it's about the storytelling.
Yeah. Now the story is so fascinating. That's also so complex. And when I was thinking about it, I was remembering something Balanchine liked to say. He said, in ballet, there are no mother-in-laws. But actually, in like Water for Chocolate, you have a mother-in-law. And
Yes.
she really makes your life a misery, in a sense. You want to just tell us about how that all works?
And, also the difficult part is like, if you just see the surface, people will say, oh, he's a cheater. But he's actually been forced to choose. And he chooses to be with the older sister just to be close to Tita.
Yeah.
And, that's heartbreaking.
The whole story is so heartbreaking because, the story really, in a way, it's about duty, it's about love, it's about repressed love, it's about tradition, heavily about tradition, and about food, and about magic, all those things combined. But what happens to him, he's in love with Tita. He and his father go to ask for his hand. Mother says, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Because she has to stay here and take care of me because she's the youngest daughter.
In that moment, Pedro knows the rules, the family rules. But when he proposed to Tita, everything seems to be okay. So in that moment, Tita and Pedro is like, oh my God, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because, the family is very strict with that. And, when Mother Elena decides to pull out a ribbon and give it to the older sister, that's
just choosing her to marry you.
Exactly.
Offering her to you,
yes.
Basically.
So, in a couple of seconds, also this is the difficulty in the ballet. All these transitions, they happen so fast. You have to give the audience the time to analyze what's going on in such a small, the score and the music.
Right.
And I think that's the tricky part with this ballet, that every transition happens so fast and it has to be so clear for people to understand. That is a challenge, but it's making you a better actor.
But I think people don't realize how much dancers, especially in these major leading roles, really have to be actors.
Yes.
And because here's this wordless art where you have to communicate pretty much exactly what's going on.
Yes.
So there are these ways that, it's in the steps that you dance.
Yes.
But then you have to bring to the steps something that enlightens it. For instance, there's this amazing pas de deux between you and Tita, between Pedro and Tita, with the rose during the wedding.
Yes.
And at one point, she puts her hand on your chest, and you just sort of breathe at the feel of her hand.
Yes.
When you do a moment like that, are you Pedro or are you Herman?
Well, you always try to bring your own life, your own experiences to certain roles. That helps you to really be a human being on stage with real emotions. And like in every ballet, I think you need the right partner to really show that real moment. And we feel it with Cassandra. We work in every detail, but not only on the actual detail, but on the actual emotions that we feel for each other in that ballet.
And do you, like when you look at each other, do you take a lot from her eyes, for instance?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's all in the eyes.
Yeah.
Every time we look for each other, we connect with the eyes.
Yeah, and that really gives you, I mean, to me, maybe the most sensual pas de deux I've ever seen is the Hot and Sleepless Nights pas de deux.
Yeah, the one that we don't touch.
Oh my God, it's so amazing. You're almost touching, you're almost kissing. And it's so much sexier than if you were kissing like mad. I mean, that's the interesting thing. It's a completely sensual thing. So what does it feel like to dance something like that?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's something that we've been craving for a long time. You have these beautiful classics that they're timeless, like Romeo and Juliet, and you still have these moments where they're mime, and in this ballet there's no mime at all.
No.
It's just real emotions and real life moments. So it's been wonderful to work on it. It's been amazing to perform it, and I'm so lucky that I'm still active to be able to perform this.
Oh, I mean, you are Pedro, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, but let me ask you something. What is the difference if you're dancing Romeo and he's in Verona and it's 500 years ago, or 600 by now, or 700 by now? What's the difference between dancing him and dancing Pedro for you? What do you have to do physically that's different?
Well, Romeo is being choreographed in a balletic way, even though there's a lot of theater in it. Still, the approach to each movement is a balletic movement. I guess also being able to be in pants makes a big difference than being in tights. Every movement that you take is in a different approach.
Oh, that's so interesting. Just the costume.
Just the costume already.
Of tights and pants. Yeah.
And the
and
vest
shirt
and the shirt.
And instead of a tunic. Yeah.
You really feel like a normal person.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference. Even our shoes, they're made for this ballet, and you have a little heel, and so the whole thing is very real.
Real, yeah.
So the way it's been choreographed is in such a different way that you can't do it in a balletic way. There's no way.
So when you do a ballet like this, how do you prepare? For instance, with this, the book, Like Water for Chocolate, I understand is the most popular book in Mexico over the last 50 years. It came out in 1992, but apparently there was nothing as popular prior to that either. The movie was tremendously popular. So did you read the book? Did you watch the movie?
Yes, I watched the movie a long time ago. I didn't want to watch it again because I knowing the story already, I want to create my own way.
You don't want to be influenced.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
That's smart, I think.
And it happens to me with every ballet. I don't want to go back to knowing every detail, because I want to still put my own feelings and sense with the character. And that happened with Pedro. I knew the story and I saw the movie a long time ago, and I just wanted to build my own.
And also, I imagine that in a way each performance of Like Water for Chocolate is a little different, because they all have this huge emotion whirling through them. But there must be moments where you suddenly feel something that you didn't feel before.
Yes.
Have you found that even you've only danced one performance up to now, but have you found that in the rehearsal that all of a sudden you would do something or feel something different?
Yes, completely. And this is when I feel very lucky to have partners like Cassandra, because we really react to what's happening. And if someone will have a different reaction or different movement, we'll react to that, and that makes
it alive. Yeah.
And that's what I want to do.
You can always tell when two dancers are working with their eyes,
mm-hmm.
because you can feel it's combustible. It's like on fire. Something is so alive in those moments that if you just learn the steps and you're out on stage doing the steps, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got to be that thing where you feed off each other.
Yeah, you feed off each other, and there are not many dancers like that.
No,
so
I know.
it's hard to find.
I know.
And so that's why I feel very lucky.
And this ballet, it just seems like with all the magic in it, does it just draw you in?
Yes, it does completely. It's a journey, and it's a journey that is just starting. I think now that we have this ballet and we did the first show, it's gonna keep growing. It's gonna be more layers, more details,
Yeah.
and different every show.
Yeah. And it's a new ballet also. And Chris Wheeldon has said that he may make some changes to it. You know, that it's growing for him too.
Yeah, exactly.
So that by the next, when you dance it again next year, he may say, well, actually, we're going to do this differently.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is exciting. I
Yeah,
mean,
he was already mentioning things like, for example, adding music for some transitions, and he already changed a few movements for us.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Because and that's the beauty to work with a live choreographer, right?
Yeah.
It's like he sees you, what you have, what you can do, or what you feel, and he's, molding that to you.
That's a great point because, I mean, none of the ballets, the classical ballets, obviously the choreographer's been gone for a very long time.
Yes.
And the people who put it on now are more staging it.
Yes.
So they're more or less following what's been done before in
Yeah.
most cases. But this is something, it's a work in progress, really.
Yeah.
And it's all human story.
Yes.
So, yeah. But Pedro, when he decides, yes, I'll marry the sister, he's doing it out of love for Tita.
Completely.
Not because he doesn't care about her, but because he cares about her so much.
Completely.
And I think she understands that in a sense, doesn't she? Do you think she?
Not at the
Eventually.
beginning. Probably this is the mistake that he made, that he never told her why he did that. But then when he finally does, which is at the wedding, when
With
he
the
gives
rose.
the rose, she's just like
Yeah.
transformed.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's a beautiful, that must be such a, I mean, when you dance with a sister, your physicality is very different.
yes.
So tell us the difference. I mean, because you're so fluid when you're dancing with Tita.
Yeah.
Everything is like, it's all soft and
Yeah.
lovely. But it's different with the sister.
So what I do with my partner, which is in this case is Hiseo, every time I dance with her, I try not to connect with the eyes. Because that will show that I'm avoiding. And so those little details make the dancing be the way they should be, like not on the same page.
Right. And distant. I mean, they're distant.
Yes.
Even after she has his child, they're
Yes.
distant. So but I think that the pas de deux with the rose is so sad and touching because it's this impossible love. I mean, you're both so entrapped by what can't be and what you want so desperately to have happen. I mean, I think it's this story, it is another one of these timeless stories. And I
Yes.
think that's why people have just responded to it over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's one of those that you want to come back and see it again because there's so much, it's like these great movies that you put it on again and you're like, you start to see more things.
Every time you watch it, you see more.
And
Yeah.
this is one of those ballets.
Yeah.
So,
And as you
Yeah.
dance it, every time you dance it, you'll find more.
and we will find more as
Yeah,
well.
and isn't that thrilling to think about?
Yes,
That
it
you're going
is.
to just go deeper and deeper and deeper.
That's very rewarding, and that's why I keep so alive with this art form. Like I don't want to let go. I don't feel like it's my time, and I want to do more.
Oh, you mustn't let go. We need you. So, 25 years with ABT and Pedro in the wonderful, stunning new ballet Like Water for Chocolate. And the world of dance is still opening up for you. And that's wonderful. That's a blessing for us as the audience. And so I just thank you for telling us about yourself and the role today. It's really been lovely to talk with you.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
and cheers to many more years.
To many more. Yeah, indeed.